Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy to see or actually know that all of you are again with us. Sorry for the last time. We had a lot of technical issues. Hope this time everything should be fine, much better. So this time we are happy to have Rafael Benevides today with us from Brazil. It's a great opportunity to have such people and great time to spend it together with such great speakers. Welcome on a CoffeeJug event, and go ahead. First of all, I would like to say congratulations to all of you with Java 25th anniversary. It was like a couple days ago, a week ago or something like that. Due to our issues last time, we are pretty late with this date. However, anyway, all of you have a relations to this beautiful language, programming language. So, like, congratulations. Let's go. Why do we do this? Of course, it's because of community, and that's like what we believe for. That's our driver, main driver, and that's like what we believe. Like only having strong community, we are able to have a name in the world and have a great engineers who follow the best practice. Today is our 10th event, and we have unique 422 participants. Here is our organizers. My name is Andrei. Here with me is Ira and Igor as well. And our program committee, people who care about the quality and help young people to start to prepare their presentations, as well as for experienced speaker to give a trial run and prepare better to actual event. Happy to say that Awenga company is with us, our partner. Thank you, Awenga, for your support of Vue communities and CoffeeJug. And thank you to JetBrains, our community partner. Please follow our updates and fill the feedback form. It will give you a chance to raffle out and win one of free yearly license from a JetBrains to any product. Join us, follow us in Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and enjoy with this event. We are switching for a few seconds to maintain screen, and the next will be Rafael Benevides. Have a nice evening.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Go.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here at CoffeeJug presenting about the Java packages and modules. In fact, I love Ukraine. I've been twice to Ukraine. I've been to Lviv and Kiev last year in 2019. And I was expecting to return to Ukraine this year. But given all this situation where most of the frontiers are closed and we are under social distance, unfortunately, I was not able to travel to Ukraine again. But I'm here presenting to the CoffeeJug. I really love the Ukrainian people. So let's start. My name is Rafael Benevides. I work for Oracle as a cloud native development advocate, and as part of my advocacy, I go to conferences presenting about Java technology, cloud native development, and everything related, like Java on containers, microservice, and everything else. Well, let's start. We all are Java programmers here, and for so long we are hearing the phrase Java is dying, Java is old, Java, we should not use Java anymore for new projects. And of course, this is completely exaggerated. Since 2006, people are telling that Java is old, but not dead yet. In fact, in 2017, 2018, we saw and we still see Java as one of the top most used language of the world by the Index Tyobe, RedMonk, or even Hank. Java is still there, strong and very powerful. And this, like 2 months ago, we had the release of Java 14, which brought us a lot of new features, not only features in the API, but features in the JVM itself. But the question is, do we still need Swing? Do we still need Corba and Applet and XML and RME for applications that we start to produce nowadays with Java 14? Well, probably not. So that's why in Java 9, there was a project called Jigsaw, which is also known as Java modules. The idea of the Java modules is to create not only smaller JDKs with a modular JDK, but even make your source code smaller by reducing the size of the jar files, by including only the modules that you need. And also encapsulate internal APIs. Internal APIs should not be public, should be internal, you should not use. But because of the Java class loading mechanism, you are able to load those internal classes, and that has been changed in the Java modules. And we will see how. And we will see today also in this presentation how to use JLink, where you, Java developer, can create your own JDK distribution, your own executable, okay? Well, first we need, before going deep in Java modules, we need to understand Java package. The idea of the Java package is to group certain classes, because today, sorry, we have more than 4,000 Java classes. So we need to group them like in 200, more than 200 packages. So we have packages for applets, for I/O, for math, for networking, for remote method invocation, for security, SQLs, and utility class, and so on. And let's see how we can use Java packages. And here I have a demo, okay, where let me start by this project here called First, where I have an applet class, where I have a main module that will print hello world and call another and call this method where it invokes the util class, the util method in a util class. How can I compile and run this project? Okay, to compile, it's really easy. We can go to the source folder of First, source, Java, con, Rafael Benevides, First. Here we can see our app.java, okay? And if I do javac app.java, that will, oh, I'm gonna second. I forgot to import. First internal does not exist. Let me just remove this. Then I will return here later and return new. Let's compile. Oh, and the import is complaining now. Now that I've compiled this class, I have the app class as a binary Java class. How can I invoke that class? Of course, if I do Java app, which is the name of the class, it will complain because this is not the name of the class. Every time that I'm referring to a Java name, I need to prepend the name of the package. So this is declared inside con.rafaben.first. So if I want to invoke, I need to give the complete name. But if I invoke java con.rafaben.first .app, that will not work, because when I do that, it will start looking for this package inside subfolders. And since I don't have the subfolders here, it will say that the class is not found. So what I should do to invoke that class? Well, I need to be in the proper package. So here, if I do Java con Rafael Benevides first app, that will find the class. So we saw here, it's working. This is the concept of class path. When I use the class path, I'm saying where I can find my classes. For example, if I'm in another folder here, if I invoke Java con Rafael Benevides first, of course that will fail because there is no con Rafael Benevides first folder and the app class inside my root folder, right? But I can specify a class path. I can say that my class path is users, Rafael, projects, Java modules, demo, first, source, main, Java. I'm saying to the JVM where I should find, where is the path for that class, the class path, CP. So now it worked. Or I can create an environment variable called class path and say my class path is here. So no matter where I am, I don't need to specify the class path. The JVM will read the environment variable, and I can call that class no matter where I am. I can be inside downloads folder and call that class because it's reading that class path. Okay, that's the basic of packages. And then, now that we understand what is a package, let's continue. Of course, if you want to use other classes, we can import the package by, say, importing the name of the class or importing every class inside that package. So we saw that we need also to use the fully qualified name to invoke the class. We saw that we can use the class path because it acts like a mount point for the JVM. And now let's take a look. Now that we understood what is the package, let's understand what is a module. As I said, the idea of the modules is to modularize the JDK itself and offer a way for you, Java developer, to modularize your source code. So a class is a container of fields and methods, right? The package is a container for classes and interfaces. A module is a container for packages. That's why we need to review what is a package first. And why is that so important? People who are using class path, and especially inside Maven, we saw that sometimes we can collide multiple versions of the same library. We can import commons length 2 and 3 in the same class path, and that creates the class path hell. So we don't know what jars are used, what versions, and most important, we don't know the difference between public and private classes, because we can load those classes even via reflection, for example. So imagine the following situation. Until Java 8, we had packages and classes. We can have private classes, we can have default classes, and we can have public classes. But with the Java modules, we have the concept of modules where we can make a class public within a module or public to specific modules. And we will see that. For example, we remember that some JVMs, they came with classes called con, sum, crypto provider, sum, NIO. Those packages should not be used. And even so, even we learning as a Java developer that we should not use packages from con_sun or package sun. We were there, the classes were there, we used, and that caused a lot of problems for many Java frameworks and applications. And there were no way to control that. But with Java modules, we can control what we can see from one module from module A to in a module B. And I say that to use a Java module, it's a two-way. It's just like a handshake. If I'm handshaking you, you need to handshake me. So if I'm giving you my hand, you should give me your hand to complete the handshake. In the Java module is the same thing. So if we want to export, we have a module B with a package Z with the class ZF, and I want to make the package Z available. I should declare the module B and say that I'm exporting Z. In the other hand, in the module A to read that class inside YD, I need to reference that I'm requiring the B module, okay? And how we define the name of the module? Well, we create a file called module-info.java, where we give the name of the module, and we'll say what modules it requires, what modules it exports, what packages that module exports. I can export specific packages to friend modules, and I can open modules for reflection. When I open, that's not available for a compile time, but it's available to instantiate or to use that class using reflection. And of course, if I mix the export and open, I'm making it completely available, okay? When I do just exports, that class is not available for deep reflection, okay? By deep reflection, I mean load private classes. I can load public classes, but private classes are not available. So that also creates a kind of compatibility for previous Java applications. Let's see how it looks for the Java, the modules inside the JDK. Every module that you declare depends on the Java base. But suppose that you want to use Java SQL. Because of the dependency, when you use Java SQL, you will bring Java XML and Java base. If you decide to use Java desktop to produce swing applications, that will bring Java prefs, Java data transfer, Java XML, and so on. So here you can easily find what is the dependencies inside a JDK, okay? And of course, if you want to use enterprise capabilities of the Java SCA, that will bring everything. It will bring Corba, transaction, instrument management, XML, web service, annotations, activation, everything. Now it's my favorite time, which is demoing the Java modules. I will start by making the following thing. Let's fix it here. Let me make my source code available so I can import the proper Java util. Yeah. Note here that this class, let me first delete this app class here also. Note here that I'm calling this util class that it's inside the internal package. By internal, I mean my class app should be able to call this util method, but I don't want to other people use this because this is internal. I should not allow it to run. And let's take a look inside this util method. It just prints a string saying util method called from this get class, get the module name of this application. Okay, But remember, I have not made it like a module yet. So let's compile Maven clean package. Okay, now that I've compiled, I will go to first target. I have here the first my jar, and if I want to analyze my model, I can run JDEPS. So if I do JDEPS and provide the name of the path of the jar, so JDEPS first.jar, look here, it identified it as a Java module that contains the dependency to Java base, to first internal, and Java IO, Java Lang, everything that's part of the Java base, Java Lang invoke. Okay, even it's not a module itself, but I can transform that to a module. So how can I do that? Well, I need to create that module info.java. So I'm saying here, I'm just exporting con.rafabene.first. I'm not exporting util. Okay, so when I do that, look here what happens if I try to compile my classes. Maven clean package. I was able to compile. Let's use JDEPS again. First, target, and first. Now it gave a name, first. First depends of the internal package. Okay. Now I can start using that module inside my app class. But note here something interesting. My IDE detected that I'm trying to use con Rafaben first internal, but there is a problem here. It says I'm not able to use that internal class because I exported only con Rafabene first. Okay, if I want to make con Rafabene first internal available, I should say exports also con Rafabene first internal. When I do that, now I can read, but that's not my intention. I should avoid calling util internal directly. Okay, so that's why I will remove here. But also, remember of the handshake, I need also to require the first module. So I need to say here requires first. Okay, and I need to fix it here that I will not call the internal class, the util class from the internal module directly. I'm able to call the method first, and first calls the util method, but this first is inside the first module. Okay, so now I can compile. And now it's time to invoke. By the way, let me do the following. Let me show something else to you. I will keep access to that module. Okay, let me compile. So you can see some behaviors when I'm using modules. Because I declared it, because I'm trying to access it, but I'm not exporting. During the compilation, it will say the package con first internal is not visible. Note that it only started to happen when I make the second as a module. Okay. Let me see here what I can do. Okay, let me remove it from here. And then compile. Now there are a difference between the execution. What if? How can I invoke that this app class here from the second module? Well, we remember that we can provide, that we must provide the class path, right? Target and first, because I will use I'm invoking here the app that is in the first jar. Now I'm invoking also the second target second, and now I can give the name of the class, Rafael Benevides second app. When I do that, look here what the util method said. I'm called from null. It does not detect that I'm inside a module. So I'm using, when I decide to use modules, instead of providing a class path, we should use the module path instead. So I will change here to module path, and the name of the class is the name of the needs to have the prefix of the module. So the module name is second plus the name of the class. Okay, this is, look here, the difference between the invocation. Here I give the class path, while here I give the module path. It's very similar. You can see that just both name of the jars. And here I have the name of the class, and here, oops, I have the name of the module plus the name of the class. So let's invoke. Now I can see the difference. It detected that I'm using a module. So it says, okay, I'm second, and I was able to call the util method from first. And it says it was called from first. It was not called from second, because I'm not allowed to use second here. Okay, so another thing that we can do, the JDEPS is very useful to debug for debug purpose, but we can use the jar -d, okay, and to read the descriptor. And let me provide the file here. Second target second.1 -d to see the details of this class. So it says this is the module second. It requires Java-base as a mandated. It contains Rafael Benevides second, and the main class is Rafael Benevides second app. Okay. What I wanted to show to you is the following thing. What happens if I remove the information about a Java module? So I'm removing here. I'm not making this as modules again. I will run Maven clean package. And I will run now again the jar -d. So what happened in this case? It says no module descriptor found. So when there is no module descriptor found, it creates an automatic module, as you can see here. Second, it gives an automatic name, which is the name of the jar. Second at 1.0 snapshot. That allows a kind of regression. It does not break your application if you try to read this as a module. Okay, you can see that I'm still able to use modules. I'm still able to run a class path, but of course, I'm not restricting the access to internal APIs, as I can do here. For example, I can access the internal API automatically. So let's do that. Class path, I'm able to call. Module path, I'm still able to call, but that's because both modules are automatically created. So that's only for the purpose of compatibility, to avoid your application to break. But what I want to do is restrict my application, as I did here before. What else? Now the IDE complains, the internal class is not visible. What else we can do? We saw that we can allow friend modules to access. So for example, if I want to make this available, I can export, not only exports conref first internal to Java modules, but I can export to second. Or it means that only second will be able to import that internal class. So let's see it working here. Compiled, and now I can read. If I'm not exposed, it will not even allow me to compile. Okay. What else we can see and do? Modules should not use cyclic dependency. It means that I can first, second requires first, but I cannot make first require second. That creates a cyclic dependency. You can see here, cycle exists in module dependence. Module second requires itself via first, because as you saw, a module will import every dependency. So first depend on second, second depend on first, and that created a cyclic dependency. So that's not possible, and it's not allowed you to do. Another thing that you cannot do is to have the same package exported on both modules. So for example, suppose that I'm on both packages here, both applications, they have the con Rafael Benevides, but there are no classes there. If I create a new test class here, okay, just an empty test class, and if I create a new file here with another test.java, I have the same package on both modules. So when I try to compile, it allowed me to compile, but let's execute. It says the package con Rafael Ben in both modules, second module and first and module first. So it says, well, you will have a collision. That's why most of the times it's important to use the jar -d to read the descriptor, and we can see that second contains not only the second module, but it contains also now con.rafabeni. Or if I use first, target first, we can see that this package is also available in this module. So that should be avoided. As I said, module is a container for path, is a container for packages, and it controls what packages are exported, and it will not allow you to invoke this a module that contains both classes in both modules. Okay, that gives you a kind of more security on avoid collision with other classes. Okay. And we saw that instead of using a class path, that still works, but we should use the Java module path and the name of the module to execute the application. How you can troubleshoot if you have a no class def found error? Again, using JDEPS. Okay, so let's use JDEPS here. JDEPS, on the second target second, and it model first not found, so we can add the model first here. Add models first, target first. Okay, let me see here. API, verbose, class path, I think it's model path. Yeah. Now I can see that inside second, it requires first, and it exports con Rafa Beni. Okay, so now let's fix it. Let's remove that class to make it work again. Compile and execute our application. Perfect. Okay, now one of my favorite things when you use models is the creation of your runtime images. Why? Because how many times have you faced the problem where you say, well, my application runs on JDK 8, on JDK 11, but I'm not able to run on JDK 12 or 13. That causes a lot of problem. So you can create your own JRE distribution. That's very used for when you need to provide a tested and certified distribution for your software. And how you can use JLink? Well, let's first take a look here. If I get my Java, my JDK, which is OpenJDK 14, okay, using Eclipse J9. If I do Java --list modules, I will see all modules of this JDK. I can see that it contains the Java base, Java compiler, Java CE, JDK XML, and classes of J9. With JLink, I can use a compression, strip Java debug attributes, remove header files, remove man pages, and create a folder called minimal JRE or other name that I want to give. I want to say what modules I want to include in that JRE, and the dependencies will be automatically included. So I just need to include the second, and because first is a dependence of the second that will be automatically included. And I can even create a launcher. For a launcher is the name of a binary that will point to the class that I want to execute, and of course give the model path. That's what I'm doing here. I'm stripping debug, compressing to, remove header files, removing man pages, creating a folder minimal JRE, adding the module second. Here I say where is the modules, second target classes, and first target classes and second target classes. And I'm creating here, I will create a launcher called CoffeeJug. Okay, when I execute that, it will read my modules, and now it created a minimal JRE folder here. Look how small it is. minimal JRE, I think it's US. HS. Yes. So with just 50 megs, I have a working minimal JRE that I can distribute or create a Docker image with that. So let's take a look here in the minimal JRE. I have my bin folder. Inside my bin folder, I have just the Java and the CoffeeJug. I will show what is inside CoffeeJug just in a bit. I can do Java --list modules, and I can see that all those modules that we saw are not available inside this minimal JRE. So we have just the first and second module and the Java base. The first execution takes time, but now the second execution that it created the index for this Java application, for this Java JDK. So the second execution is much faster now. And what is inside the CoffeeJug? Well, it's just an helper to invoke your module automatically. So here you can just call CoffeeJug and it executes your application very fast. Some people ask me, if I use modules, will I have better Java performance? Well, it will not give you a huge impact, but it will increase a little bit because not all classes and modules are being loaded, but very tiny, okay? And how can I use this minimal JRE? Let me remove that folder. The purpose of a minimal JRE is that I can create a Docker image for cloud native applications. So take a look here in this Docker file. I can use the adopt OpenJDK as a builder. I can copy both modules inside my application, my container called builder. Now I can create a minimal JRE that I am outputting here to min JDK, including the modules. And now I can use Alpine distribution and place my minimal JDK inside this minimal distribution and execute my run command here. So let's create a Docker, use that Docker file to create my application. So I'll give a name here, my app, using this Docker file. You can see JLink being executed. Now it created my JDK. How small is that? Look here, Docker image, grab JDK. The adopted JDK itself, the image, is 420 megs. But my app with a Java application inside is just 48, almost 49 megs. And it's very fast. So we can execute here, Docker run -- interactive and terminal, rm, and the name of the image. Yeah, as you can see, tiny and fast. Okay, so this is one of the nice features about using modules. You cannot use JLink if you are not using modules. It will complain that you need to have module descriptor to use JLink. We will open for questions, but if you want to try for yourself, I placed it here inside my Git repo, the Java modules demo, where you can just try, do the crazy things that you want to see if it works or if it does not work. And as you saw, Maven is well integrated with the Java modules. So I just provide here the module names. And if there is a module descriptor, it will be considered when you build the application. The only thing that you need to do is say that you are using the source and the target folder 9, because the Java modules were introduced in the on Java 9. Okay. Well, this is the end of the application. Let's open for questions. I will let you know here my Twitter handle, where you can send, follow me to be aware of more things related to cloud native development and Java itself. And let's start making questions.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Rafael. We have like a few seconds delay between the real time and the YouTube stream. Let's wait a couple seconds and give our participants a chance to ask questions.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So actually it was quite interesting. Thank you. It was really good.
Thank you. I'm really happy to know that I brought relevant content for Java developers.
Yeah, and how often you participate in the online events right now due to coronavirus? Probably quite often, right?
Yeah, now because everything are online, I'm able to join more conference than I was previously. Even today, there is another great event, which is JNation. JNation is happening, and I'll talk in JNation about the 12 factors from Heroku and how you can use a Java application together with containers and Kubernetes to be aligned with the 12-factor definition.
Okay, got it. So I see there are no actually questions right now. So I guess like not sure if you want to spend your time more than we already did.
Don't worry about that. It's always a pleasure to help the Java community, as you talked in the beginning of the beginning of the presentation.
Okay, cool. So then, thank you so much. I will switch to the closing ceremony. Okay.
Okay. And
Bye.
thank you so much, and thank you everyone who watched us.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining this online meetup. It was really great to hear how we can work with Java modules with nowadays and latest Java. Thank you, Rafael. So thank you our partner Avenga for supporting us. And of course, thank you to JetBrains, our usual community partner. I hope that everyone who are still online and actually everyone else will receive the feedback form, will apply them, like provide their feedback, and we'll have a chance to win a 1 year free license. Thank you. Join us in different channels like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and let's make this world better and more full with useful information from our speakers. Follow us, join us. Have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.